Good morning, good morning. I hope you're safe and well because that is the most important thing. Now, luckily, I am actually at home instead of going up to Scotland because the ongoing family crisis doesn't need me there immediately, but I could be called up at any time. So it's great to be in my own environment for this video at least. So we've got a really packed email newsletter today, and all I can do is give you a feel for what's going on. First up, something that came out of the self-help group meeting the other week, but something we've come across at TT as well, which is that at the moment, if you want to find out who's registered for UK Reach, to make that commercial decision about whether you're going to go for registration yourself, the only information that we have is the list of grandfather substances. That's the substances that were registered in the UK under EU Reach and then were grandfathered in. And I think you're probably aware there's a list of these substances. I'm just putting that note below the video there because not everybody is sure about it. So that list is there. It's a closed list. They've not added to it. Now, if you're coming along a bit later, you might go, oh, well, my substance isn't on that list, but has anybody actually either gone for full immediate registration or have they done an NRES, which is the registration where there is a registration at ECHA, but it wasn't grandfathered in for whatever reason, because it was presumably held in the EU. So there are two types of registration that might exist, and if they've not been grandfathered in, we in industry don't know that there might be a UK Reach registration, even if it's just a skeleton registration while we wait for the deadlines to go through. So we really feel quite strongly within the self-help group and here at TT that it would be super, super helpful if DEFRA, the HSE, could provide us with a second list. You know, it's all very well saying, here's the list of grandfather substances, but a second list of here of all the other substances that are, as far as we know, going forward for registration, which means they've either been fully registered or they're NRES. And the reason for doing this is because under ECHA, you know, anything that's registered, you can tell straight away because it's got a dossier. So it doesn't cost you anything apart from a little bit of time to go and search for the substance on the ECHA website. But under UK Reach, because we've got these substances that are going forward for registration or have been registered, but they weren't grandfathered, you don't know unless you make an inquiry. And the problem with making an inquiry, a Section 26 inquiry, because it's exactly the same way of doing things as in the UK as in the EU at the moment, you do your Section 26 inquiry, and then the HSE in the UK will tell you, oh yeah, there's a registration, you know, don't worry about it. There you go, kind of thing. Unfortunately, in order to make that Section 26 inquiry, you need your substance identity profile information. Now, you may have that on hand if you were previously a registrant under EU Reach, but even then, if it was a while ago, you may not have all of the information because, of course, substance identity profile information has altered and it has increased as time's gone on. Or you may not have that information at all, in which case you've got, what, about £2,000 minimum for your SIP tests? And if it's a UVCB, if it's a complex substance, you know, you could be a lot more. You could be 8, 9, 10 grand even. And if you're trying to make a commercial decision on whether to go forward with registration or not, you want to know without having a cost. So that's why it would be really good if we could get this second list of, you know, other UK Reach registered substances together. So you've got the grandfathered list and then you've got everything else, you know, whether it's NRES, whether it's fully registered. It would just help people in the UK or selling into the UK from the EU, for example, or even outside the EU, understand, am I going to be doing this on my own, which is expensive, or have I got a chum to share the costs with? So yeah, that's my sort of cry from the heart here. So that's UK Reach. Now, EU Reach, and of course, the weird thing is, as you've probably noticed, that even though, you know, we've had Brexit, we still look across to the EU and the EU looks across to UK. But anyway, EU Reach, Many thanks to Steve Brennan from TSG, who pointed out that there's an update to the test methods regulation to kind of align the EU REACH test methods with the OECD tests, which includes bringing in some novel methods, the non-animal test methods. And we've got a really narrow window to comment on this, and I believe it closes on the 9th of January. So the Have Your Say link, I am just putting below this video now. There we go. So if you are interested in test methods and you want to comment on the specific changes to the test method regulation for REACH, now's your chance. And when you think about we're coming up to the Christmas holidays, the 9th of January is actually fairly soon. So like I say, many thanks to Steve for highlighting that on LinkedIn, because this past week there has been so much stuff flooding out of the EU last fortnight that it's difficult to keep an eye on it all. And in fact, our email newsletter, Chemicals Coffee Time, is chock full of European things. And I only picked that particular one because I felt that, well, we're so close to the commenting deadline that we can't really do anything else. So if you're not already on our email list, you can sign up. And I'm putting the link below the video. As I've said before, we are about to change the website name, but everybody who's already signed up will be transferred across. So don't worry about that. So we've done the UK, we've done the EU. What's next? Reasons to be cheerful. And we've got a couple of reasons to be cheerful for you here. Sorry, I am trying to type and talk at the same time. As you know, I can't do that. I don't know if it's because I worked as an audio typist back in the days when I was temping, when I couldn't get a job as a scientist. It happens, sometimes you just, hey, any job is better than no job, definitely. So the first one that I've got is a Horrible Histories song, which is kind of the ridiculous, as it were. Horrible Histories is a children's thing, if you're not familiar with it, a fun way of looking at history. And the second one is Sublime. It's Herbert Howell's A Spotless Rose, and it's a tune for Christmas, shall we say. There we are. I shall just put this link below this video as well. Yes, I'm putting some Christmas music in as well, and I thought, well, you might like it in LinkedIn world and Facebook world and all the rest of it as well. So that's it from me for today. I hope you have a very, very good Christmas if you're leaving early. Otherwise, I hope to chat to you again next week. Stay safe, because it's a nasty world out there at the moment. Take care of yourselves. Bye.